我两个旁边坐就会开心，好奇的。
Alright, so good day. So in this lesson, we are going to learn something about how to identify viewpoints in an article and how you are going to develop a strategy to tell how you can tell an argument. And the third one is about you are going to finish some reading tasks based on the pictures we see here. So you know this is the picture of what? Graffiti, right? So this is the graffiti. So later on, I'm going to talk about some different viewpoints. So you know viewpoints, which means you have different ideas or comments or thoughts about graffiti. But before we get into these four pictures, do you think graffiti is art or not? So how many of you think graffiti is art? If you think graffiti is art, you can raise your hand here. If you think graffiti is not art, you can put your hands here. And if you don't have any comment, just stretch out your arms. So most of you think like graffiti is kind of art, right? So in this case, we are going to discuss whether graffiti could be art or not. So I'm going to give you the worksheet first. Okay, so now we are going to discuss these four pictures with your teammates. So on your worksheet, you can see how many pictures on your worksheet. We have four pictures, right? So later on, you are going to discuss whether these pictures are art or not. But before you really get into the discussion, you can think about some questions. For example, the first question is, can you read the first question for me? What is it? And how about the second question?
Do you want to stay in the area with this picture or not?
Okay, do you want to stay in the area with this picture at night? And number three. Okay, so how do you feel? How do you feel about the pictures? And how about number four?
Do you like it?
Okay, do you like it? Okay, and number five.
What do you mind when you see the pictures?
Okay, so what comes to your mind when you see the pictures? So later on, I would like you to discuss something about these four pictures, and please tell me whether you think graffiti is art or not. So here we have one sample right here. For example, we can say we think graffiti is not. It's not art because it is associated with criminal activities. For instance, we usually see graffiti at a dark corner, which is often a dangerous place. So there will be one sentence for you to write down from each group. So now I would like you to discuss with your teammates and write down one sentence like this to tell me whether you think graffiti is art. So for the very first sentence, we think graffiti is not art. That will be your idea, right? Will be your viewpoint, whether you think graffiti is art or not. And the second one, because it is associated with the lab. So because this part will be your reason, right? Your reason whether you think graffiti is art. And the last one, for instance, there will be your evidence, right? Your example to say whether it is art or not. Okay? So this is what we call a basic argument structure. We have the first one, which is about your viewpoint. And usually in debate, we call it kind of assertion. So that's why we have A. There will be assertion, your viewpoint, your stance, or your idea. And the second one is R, which means your reason. So there will be A and R. And the last one, E, will be your evidence or the proof you have to show that. So for the basic argument structure, we'll have something like this. We have like A, R, E. So A, which stands for assertion, R, which stands for reasoning, and E, which stands for evidence you can show. So usually you say for instance, for example. Okay? So we have these three keywords. The first one, A, which stands for what? A stands for No. So let me repeat again, so please listen carefully. So for a basic argument, we use argument to explain our ideas. And usually in an argument, we have three basic elements. The first one is assertion. So assertion is about your viewpoint, your comment, or your stance, or just your position. And the second word, which is R, which means reasoning. So you'll provide your reasons why you think so. And the third one, E, which stands for evidence, which means you'll try to show your example, your proof to show that why you think this way is right. So let's review it again. So for the basic argument structure, we have ARE, A, which stands for assertion, and R stands for reason, and E stands for evidence. Okay. So now I would like you to discuss with your teammates about these four pictures and try to write down the basic argument on the mini whiteboards. Okay. So you have 3 minutes to discuss with your teammates.
是要写这个问题吗？写问题吗？还是来的。What is Graffit?
So you can choose any picture you like to be your evidence. Okay, so we have 4 pictures. You can choose any picture you like to be your supporting evidence.
第二点是 Do you want? 第二个，在晚上待在这种地方。No。啊 ，No。他 yes。yes 吗？其实我觉得很帅。啊？是他。No。
我想到第一个就是ratio。
因为要是优于吗？你可以直接逗点，这样会感觉到。你先写 because it is scary 就好了。对嘛？干嘛要听我的？就在听你的。我想说一起学员。为什么要问我呢？然后第一个是什么？我们再选一个图片。选这个。这个人呢？这比较帅。那怎么写？这个没有，我说3个。这个啦，
屁孩。
你知道到什么被取吗？你喜欢漂亮的感觉。
对，打蛮东西啊。
这里面还有大自然，因为我觉得这里有到本地。好土地有。
这里面。
Oh my god！ 你要去那种
I feel you. I feel I.